What's up guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a comparison video against the Canon EOS RP and the Blackmagic Ursa 4K Mini. The Ursas we use all the time when we're shooting TV shows out on the water, and we also use the Canon EOS RP all the time as well. It just depends if we're offshore, inshore, or bass fishing. So with saying that, let's get into the video. Okay, so in that B-roll footage, could you tell the difference in the $4,000 Blackmagic and the Canon EOS RP? Could you tell the difference in that little B-roll footage that you just seen? Yes, this is on YouTube. It's going to compress both clips just the same. In this video, I'm going to try to explain to you, I'm going to do my best to explain why people go with a cinema camera instead of a mirrorless camera. But yes, we do use a mirrorless camera for the show. We use the Blackmagics as much as we can, but there's some situations, like if we're offshore and real rough stuff, we use the mirrorless cameras, the Canon EOS RP or the Canon EOS R. We use both of those all the time. The footage looks amazing and nobody can tell the difference. The one thing that a lot of people don't know, whenever you're shooting for TV, all it needs to be in is 1080p. The reason why we shoot in 4K and love 4K is because whenever we go into post-production, if we need to crop something out, just crop anything out, we can crop in a good amount and then it's going to be fine. And the reason why we shoot 60 frames a second literally the whole time is if we want to slow something down for the audience, we can slow it down, or we can just leave it in normal speed and we're good to go. So that was a little besides the point, but I wanted you to know why we shoot in 4K and why we shoot in 60 frames a second for a TV show. Also, the Canon EOS RP and the Canon EOS R, they only shoot 1080p, but like I said, for TV, 1080p is perfectly fine. So that's why these mirrorless cameras are amazing and they shoot great. And it's hard to tell the difference. I'm sure a lot of you guys could not tell the difference in that B-roll segment. If I didn't know, if I didn't put the clips in myself, I probably wouldn't know, just to be honest. Okay, so further in the video, I'm gonna reveal to you which camera was the Canon and which camera was the Blackmagic. Hopefully it's not that far in the video, but I am going to reveal the answers of which clip was which, so you guys can see how good the Canon is and how good the Blackmagic is, and see if you were correct, because I know y'all have y'all's guesses. So with saying that, let's get into some of the pros and cons of each camera, and I'm going to do my best, like I said, to explain why people use cinema cameras for big productions. Okay, so the first thing about the Canon EOS R, a pro about this camera and why it can be better than the Blackmagic in some areas, is it's better in low light. This camera, the Canon EOS R, is actually the one I'm shooting on right now. It's better in low light. It has a full frame sensor. The Blackmagic only has a Super 35 on it, which is a smaller sensor. And the Blackmagic, the Blackmagic that we have, the ISO, the max it can go is 800. So if you don't have indoors perfect lighting, it has to be perfect lights everywhere, set up perfectly. The Blackmagics are not gonna be your run and gun camera for like going indoors, going outdoors, just a whole bunch of different stuff, because the lighting has to be perfect. You just start seeing noise a lot sooner than the Canon EOS RP. Okay, so I already mentioned this, but the Canon EOS RP has a bigger sensor. So in return, you're gonna have better bokeh. It's gonna be crispy in the background, nice and blurry. With the Blackmagic, you're gonna have that blur too, but just not as much. And since it's a crop sensor, you're also gonna have a little crop on your frame that's gonna crop in. Okay, so with saying that, another pro about the Canon EOS RP is it's lighter and it's easier for run and gun. I mean, that's obvious. It's a small camera, it fits in your hand. The Blackmagic is a cinema camera. You put it on your shoulder and you film stuff. You're gonna get amazing footage with the Blackmagic, but it's huge. It's not made for like getting it and just recording anywhere you want, because you have, first of all, it's not autofocus. The RP has autofocus, which is another pro about the RP, is it has autofocus. I don't even know if I wrote that down, but it has autofocus. Also, it's small enough that you can throw it on a little small gimbal and go and get very smooth, great footage. That's another thing, it's small enough to put on a gimbal. The Blackmagic, you are not gonna be able to put on a gimbal unless it's one of those huge gimbals. The one I have costs $500. I can throw this thing on there and get great footage because it's a small, you know, it's not the smallest camera, but it's a small camera that you can put on a, you know, a Ronin SC gimbal, which I talked about in one of my previous videos. Okay, so the last pro that I have written down about this Canon EOS RP, it also shoots great raw photos at 26.2 megapixels. That is great. So you can video, and then if you need to, flip around to your camera and start shooting pictures too, if you need to. The Blackmagic, you're not gonna be able to do that, but like I said, that's a video camera, a professional video camera. There's a big difference, but I just wanted you guys to see the footage with the Canon EOS RP and the Blackmagic so you could see how similar, if you know what you're doing, how similar they are. So yeah, this camera shoots great pictures, it shoots great video. I just wanted you guys to see a $1,000 camera and a $4,000 camera, the difference in the quality and how close that the $1,000 camera can get to looking just like the Blackmagic, which costs $4,000. So you don't go out and buy the most expensive thing because you can get great footage. I know you hear this all the time, but you can get amazing footage with the RP. So with saying that, I'm gonna go over some of the cons of the Canon EOS RP. The first one is going to be battery life. If you're recording, which we do all the time, if I'm on a boat recording a TV show, and most of the time when I'm using my Canon, I have that thing on record the whole entire day. So I know that my battery only lasts straight recording an hour and a half, and then I got to switch out to a new battery. Luckily I have 6 batteries, which gives me 9 hours of record time. That's plenty of time. But that is a con because say you only have a couple batteries, you're only going to have 3 hours of shoot time. But with the Blackmagic, you can either plug it in to an outlet and just record all day until you run out of memory, or you can get bigger batteries on your V mount and just go all day. Because those batteries, they record 3 to 4 hours at a time, and then you put in a new battery. You only need like 3 batteries instead of 6 or 2. Sometimes you can get away with just 2 batteries. Another con with the Canon EOS RP is it only has 1 audio input. I have this little adapter that I put on top, which gives me 2. Like I plug it in and it does the right and left, just like the Blackmagics do, but the Blackmagic is built in with phantom power, so it's great. Like it has right and left 2 channels already. This one, I have an adapter that I have to use to get my 2 channels. It's not already just built in. Okay, so with saying all that, I'm gonna reveal to you which camera was which in the B-roll segment, which camera was the Canon, which camera was the Blackmagic. I'm gonna reveal to you right now which camera was which. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that footage. I hope you guys guessed correctly. Like I said, I don't know if I would be able to guess correctly. But with saying that, I'm going to go over some of the pros about the Blackmagic and why people buy the Blackmagic instead of just a mirrorless camera. Okay, so the first pro about the Blackmagic is it shoots ProRes 422 HQ. It shoots all the ProReses. It shoots Raw Lossless. It has all these great formats, so you can make sure to get the highest quality you can get with a camera, which in return gives you a lot more options whenever you're color grading. It has a really good electrical viewfinder, so a lot of people when they're outdoors, they use their eye in the viewfinder. They don't use the screen, because actually a con about the Blackmagic is the screen is really dim. But you ain't really supposed to use the screen but for changing around settings and stuff, which once you have your settings, you really don't touch it all day. But the viewfinder, you put it to your eye and you can literally see everything perfect, like you was in a dark room looking at a really bright screen. The next pro is that, like I said, it has continuous recording, which is nice. You hit record and just go until your battery runs low or your SSDs run out. Another thing about it is, I don't think I wrote this down, but the thing is a workhorse. It don't run hot. You get crazy good footage the whole time. It just has everything you need on the camera to make sure you can do the job. Like, it's a workhorse camera. It's made for work. It's a tool. Just like the Canon's a tool, this is a tool too, just a way more powerful tool. Yes, it has its cons that you know, it has things that's not cool, like with the low light situation. But when you're outside using that thing, it's freaking phenomenal. It's a workhorse and it's great. Another pro about the camera is it shoots 1080, 120 frames a second in ProRes 422. It's great quality, amazing footage, and it's always nice to have slow motion in 1080p. This camera does not do any type of slow motion but 60. I wish it had 120 at 1080, but it don't. And the last pro that I have written down about the Blackmagic is it has an SSD reader. Literally, you can plug in an SSD, a 2.5-inch SSD, and just record on that. Take it out, throw it in your computer, all your footage is there, get to work. I mean, in my opinion, that's amazing. So saying that, that's all I have for this video. I hope this comparison was eye-opening so you could see the difference in a $4,000 cinema camera and a $1,000 consumer professional camera. Most people that, if a lot of people end up watching this video, a lot of people are gonna say that the RP is not a professional camera, but I use it on a lot of professional jobs. It gets the job done, it looks amazing, and no clients complain at all. It's a freaking amazing camera. So with saying that, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. Go out and buy a Canon RP or a Blackmagic if you have the money. They're both good cameras, but if you're doing YouTube stuff, highly recommend the RP or the Canon EOS R or the Canon M50. So with saying that, make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.